All right, Eliza, you are good to go.
Oh, okay, you did give it to me. I was like, you didn't give it to me yet. All right. My name is Eliza Ellett. I'm doing the presentation on financial assistance for hearing aids. I actually learned quite a bit about this because I didn't pick this topic, and I'm glad I have it. Oh, there we go. Sorry. I'm going to start with the pretest questions. Number 1, Illinois is one of the current states that hearing aid insurance coverage is mandated. True or false? Oh, the bottom of my page got cut off, huh?
Okay, question 2, please.
Number 2, besides medical insurance, which following option can help you purchase hearing aids? A, assistive technology loan. B, various medical financing options. C, grants and scholarships. Or D, I'm pretty sure it says all of the above.
Hi, this is Anita. My iPhone is struggling finding the answers and things, so I'm having maybe some issues here with my phone. I'm trying to make it work to find the answers and look at the questions and everything.
Okay, Anita, we'll just catch up at some point. We'll keep moving it forward, and if you want to text me answers, or we'll just fill it as it comes along. It's all good. Okay, question 3.
Is this Angela that I should text?
No, this is Carrie, but I'm under Isha, or the host. But so that's if you're going to chat me within this presentation on WebEx. Otherwise, just text Carrie, and I'll get your answers. Okay?
All right.
Great. Thanks. Eliza?
Okay. Number 3, there are hearing aid loaner banks throughout the state and country. True or false?
And question 4.
Which of the following organizations offer assistance for purchasing hearing aids? A, Miracle Ear. B, Travelers Protection Association. C, United Children's Healthcare Fund. D, all of the above. And there's an E, it's A and C only.
All right, excellent. You can move on.
I'm going to. Any second. I promise you I'm pressing the arrow. There we go. Okay. Well, as I stated before, but again, I'm doing a presentation on financial assistance for hearing aids. There's quite a bit of different ones out there, and I am sure I barely touched half of what's out there. So I will get started. This is a big one. We're going to go ahead and read it over there. So this is about the Illinois state law for hearing aid coverage mandate. There's two different bills, the SB 38 and HB 1231, so the Senate and the House, have been introduced in the Illinois legislature to ensure that private health insurance would cover hearing aids for those who need them of all ages for up to $2,500 per year every 3 years. There's a version of these bills, has been introduced almost yearly over the past 20 years. However, the effort is currently stalled due to the changes of the Affordable Care Act and probably will continue to be stalled. So under the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, states are to create health insurance exchanges or a marketplace in which those without health insurance can shop for a plan. In Illinois, this exchange will open for enrollment on October 1st, 2013, and become effective in 2014, which was 2 years ago. As part of this process, the state of Illinois created a set of essential health benefits, EHB, which need to be covered under any health insurance plan offered through the marketplace. However, Illinois did not include coverage of hearing aids in the EHB, leaving the decision at the discretion of individual private plans. More importantly, if the state of Illinois decides through legislative process or as state policy to impose a mandate for coverage of benefits that are not in the EHB, that would require the state, not private insurers, to cover the difference in cost. This means that if the Senate Bill 38 and House Bill 1231 passed, the state would have to pay for all hearing aids for those who buy insurance on the marketplace. This was written by Rachel Arfa. She's the one who brought this up, so that's why I said Arfa, sorry. The bills are currently stalled due to the lack of funding. Stakeholders in Illinois are considering their options. One is to work directly at the federal level with the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to include insurance coverage for hearing aids nationwide. The other is to work at the state level to amend or modify the EHBA standards to add hearing aids. And as of now, unless something has changed in the last couple of months, this is still holding true. I saw Rachel recently, and she said that this is still going in front of the Senate and House and still being worked on. So as all of us probably know, for children 0 to 3, if children are identified with a hearing loss between the ages of 0 to 3 years old, the parents should apply as soon as possible for early intervention services through the Department of Health and Human Services. There's the link, and to the Division of Specialized Care for Children. Depending on your income, you may be eligible for all kids Medicaid coverage through the state of Illinois and or financial assistance through DFCC for hearing aids and other related equipment and services. These sources can be used for most children with hearing loss from 0 to 21 years if the family qualifies financially. The school-age children, this is, I can't definitely say a rule of thumb for at least using at home, but I know that my kiddo just came home with an FM, a boot still on her hearing aid by accident, so this definitely goes with this. School-age children, IDEA and their IEP. Children with hearing loss might be able to receive hearing assistive technology at no cost at their individualized education program, IEP, which specifies that they need the assistive technology such as hearing aids or FM systems in order to receive a free and appropriate public education. And then for more information, I have on here the Individuals with Disability Act and which section you can find that in. And it is, just so you know, it is a little hard to get the exact definition on those. They've worded it just fine to where we have to kind of argue it. So there's different financial options, and financing options and assistive technology loans one of them. And the care credit's the first one. I have the link here. I try to put the website links on all of these. There's a few that you can just type it in and it's going to pop right up for you. And the care credits, they offer monthly payment options. It's no upfront cost to the patients, no prepayment penalties, and no annual fees. It's short-term, no-interest plans are available, as well as longer-term plans with fixed interest rates. Hopefully that is not what you would have to do, but that is definitely an option if you do have to end up paying out of pocket and you can't do it all at once. And then there's another, the Illinois Assistive Technology Program. They have a loan program specifically for people with disabilities. Hearing aid applicants must have an evaluation by an audiologist to receive the loan for the equipment. The AT loans are available to purchase assistive technology for daily living. It provides assistance and monetary loans at a reduced interest. Just a little tidbit, some facts about the loans is the loan amounts can range from $1,001 to $30,000. They have credit rebuilding programs, so even if you don't think that you can do it, or if your families, if they're struggling, different things, it shows the amount is limited to $250 to $1,000, but it does help rebuild credit, and they usually will go ahead and give them the loan for these. And then going on to the hearing aid loaner banks, most audiology offices either have their own or work with an outside program to loan hearing aids. This may be because, so the different reasons, and I worded this wrong, the different reasons that you would possibly have loaner hearing aids, especially for your child, is if they're seeing if your child will benefit from the hearing aid use before deciding if a cochlear implant would be a way to go or not. If your insurance isn't paying right away and you're trying to work through a third party until funding can be secured, or if you're waiting for your child's hearing aid to be repaired or for different issues on that, they lost and you're waiting for a new one. Oticon has a pediatric national loaner bank. Lurie's Hospital in Chicago, and like I said, I'm sure there's many other hospitals south, St. Louis and Peoria and things that have loaner hearing aid banks. And the Chicago Hearing Society has a hearing aid loaner bank also. These are some different grants and funding sources. We have Starkey Hearing Foundation, First Hand Foundation, Miracle Ears on here. So you read down United Healthcare Children's Fund, medical grants. Some of these are really they're really nice. I mean, the Job Daughters International is down here, and this is a female organization came together, and they do this for different types of special needs, disabilities, whichever, from hearing aids to things for blind to CP to anything any type of equipment. They work really hard. All of the money that they bring in goes towards this. More grants and funding is going to be, actually, if you go into IDHHC's website, I was not aware of this, and it has hearing aid resources, and it has a very long list of different funding sources that you can look at. Sertoma, and so this is one that I was not aware of at all, the Travelers Protection Association. They've been funding the Scholarship Trust for the Hearing Impaired since 1975. I was not aware of that at all and thought it was a joke, so I had to go on to their website and read about it. They are quite generous also. And then there's Healthy Hearing, hearing aids, insurance, financial assistance, and it'll link you to many different resources also. And some different not-for-profit organizations. These I did not add any links to them just because they're such popular ones. Lions Club, the Rotary Club, Kiwanis, I can never say that, sorry, Elks of the USA, Knights of Columbus. And then another organization I didn't know exactly everything to put about is Hear the Cheers. As we know, Amber Peters and Eliza Peters, they have this. And I think they've expanded this to not just children and sports. I think it's a little bit more broad now. And there's a link to that for applying for the hearing aid. And then lastly, this is just this little one that someone had on one of their pages, and I just stole a little bit of ideas off of it. So a big one that we sometimes forget, especially if we're from a bigger city, we don't really think about is our community. Social media, different things like that. So fundraisers, especially in smaller towns, you can make it a party. I know one organization, one of the banks just put on a fundraiser for an organization that they wanted to donate money to, and everyone from the very small town went over for an ice cream social, and they raised a little over $800. You do bake sale, costume party, kids are always up for that, parents will be excited. And if there's your friends and neighbors will feel wonderful knowing they helped your child get their hearing aid or aids. Yard sale, this one, never underestimate your large cities either. Who doesn't love a good yard sale? And then GoFundMe, I did read up on it a little bit. I don't know a lot about it, the percentages and things, but there is a small fee involved. But the amount that people, complete strangers around the whole country and world, I'm not sure, they give towards you just because they see this as a definite need, it's really, really kind. I was looking at some of the GoFundMe ones that they have going right now, and pretty touching. So that was just another one. And I think that's it. There we are.
All right, then go ahead and read question 1, please.
Okay, question 1. Illinois is one of the current states that hearing aid insurance coverage is mandated. True or false?
Question 2, please.
Sure. Besides medical insurance, which option can help you purchase hearing aids? A, assistive technology loan. B, various financing options. C, grants and scholarships, and D, all of the above.
Okay, question 3.
Question 3, there are hearing aid loaner banks throughout the state and country. True or false?
All right, and question 4.
Which of the following organizations offer assistance for purchasing hearing aids? A, Miracle Ear. B, Travelers Protection Association. C, United Children's Healthcare Fund. D, all of the above. for E, down there, A and C only.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording. All right, so this is Carrie. I am the coordinator for Gather Your Sign, and we're going to go over a lot of save the dates and events and things that are going on, and then just highlighting on a couple of things that we as a team got coming up. So, painless, I tell you, painless. Okay, so I know we just finished the last newsletter, but I want you to guys be thinking of the next one, which would be the last one for this contract. So it has to be done before April 1st. So I'll be working on it in March to give a little space from what we just put out. I do need a Kids Spotlight article, so be thinking that if you got something to share or you think that you'd have a family that would be great for it. We don't have to wait till March to get that article. So put a bug in my ear. We can get working on it now, too, instead of scrambling at the end. You do get LRP points for contributing, and so I would like to work on it at the beginning of March so I can give the gals enough time to translate, get it done, and put out before April 1st. It has to be done before April 1st. Okay? Save the date. I told you we have a lot of them, right? So this is 2 pages worth. Don't worry about jotting down every single date. Okay, I have got our events and I've got other events that I found. I will screenshot both of these slides and send it in an email to you guys. So you don't have to freak out and jot all these down, okay? Of course, we have our calls for all. We're going to, there's a little change in that for this month, so I'm going to talk about that when we get to that slide. Dads is a, Dads, oh God, what is it stand? Basically, it's dads of deaf students, and that's hosted by the Chicago Park District. No, ISRC. I think it might be held out with Chicago Parks as well, but that's in Archer Park, 7 to 9. Polar Day is a Chicago Park District activity. They have it on January 21st. There is a different activity on February 12th, and another activity, I think bowling, in March. Sound Experience, that is part of Schoolaged Children's program. They host this out in their Westchester office. So basically, it's on a weekend. It's like basically a big pizza networking party from 12 to 2. Deb has scheduled an FEO event in Chatham, so you can check out her and send families her way. We are going to start with our parent award nominations. So the voting is everything's. Or not the voting, the nominations are open now, and I will be sending an email out this week for that. And then they will close February 7th. I will take those that were nominated, put them into a SurveyMonkey, and then release that voting in SurveyMonkey out on the 10th, and then the voting will be open till the 20th. The 21st is when I announce that person. We have our calls for all in Spanish and English statewide conferences. 2 out of the 3 statewide conferences this year are at different locations. So if you're used to going to Rockford, it's not going to be in Rockford. Don't show up in Rockford. All right, so make sure your families know that too. Here is the other bit of Save the Date. Eddie Day is going to be, that's hosted through Choices for Parents, and they're going to do that during the Illinois Teachers of the Deaf and Hard of Hearing students PreConference, and then Mom Sign In is coming up, and what else? Auction, obviously. The Illinois Teachers of the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, they have a finger spelling bee. If your school may participate in that, maybe they don't even know about it, but I'll share some information on that tonight if you want to bring it back to your school program. PRN Institute, we have our call for all on that next month. And then the Leadership Conference, which will be our annual training in September in Galena, Illinois. So that hasn't been officially announced by National, but we do know that we won the hosting. So we, as our chapter, our Illinois Hands and Voices, will be hosting National, and Galena was the area that they chose. I don't know what exact hotel yet or not. All right, so calls for all. January call was supposed to be about positive discipline strategies for behavior needs, and I heard from the presenter last night she had a snafu happen in the family, and she is unable to do the presentation in January. However, we have rescheduled her for April. So if you're talking with families and they're bummed, just tell them she's going to do it in April. However, all is not lost. I will do a call in January on that same date and time, but it's going to be about events. So very similar to what we're going to go through tonight. A great way for families to learn a little bit more about what is Mom's Night In, what is a statewide conference, and so forth. For the Spanish ones, when we set up the flyer, she did not have commitment from who from each of the cochlear companies was going to be presenting. They needed to find somebody that spoke Spanish from that company. So it's been finalized. January is cochlear, February is Manel, and March is advanced bionics, and those are all in spoken Spanish. So again, great, share with your families. It's wonderful that those organizations will be able to provide that. All right, parent award nominations. So, like I said, you can nominate parents. Parents can nominate people. Professionals can nominate other parents. That's due into me by February 7th. Then I will take those that were nominated, get them into SurveyMonkey, and do online voting from the 10th to the 20th, and then I will announce the recipient on the 21st. They will receive the award during Mom's Night In on March 5th. So the Sunday morning of Mom's Night In, before the panel, we will present the Parent Achievement Award, okay? Being that we have kind of separated from choices and that their Eddie Day was much shorter than years before because it's going to be held over the lunch hour of the pre-conference of IPI. I felt like it would be a better fit to bring it home to Hands and Voices, and what better way to get more parents interested in this and realize that they could potentially receive this award in the future than by having it done through Mom's Night In. So there you have it. There are a couple different ways that you can have somebody nominated. You can fill out the nomination link through SurveyMonkey. I did that this year, or they can do the paper form. So in the past, it's only been a paper nomination. This year, I've got the SurveyMonkey link to also do the nominating. And you guys can vote. You can be voted, or you can be nominated as well. Okay? Here is the nomination form. If you haven't seen this before, this is what it looks like. Again, this will be going out in the email from MailChimp. If you don't see the MailChimp emails, make sure you hop on our Facebook page. I always post the link through there once I send out the MailChimp email to our list. All right, statewide conferences. Remember how I told you 2 out of the 3 were new locations? North of 80 is going to be in Wheeling. South of 70 is going to be in Marion. Jacksonville will stay the same. So keep that in mind. You can find this information on the Hands and Voices website as well, and I'm sure it's at the ISD Outreach website, but I know it's on Hands and Voices. Oh, sorry, guys. All right, Eddie Days. So like I mentioned, it's going to be held where the Illinois Teachers of Deaf and Hard of Hearing pre-conference is going to be. Typically in the past, we've had Mom's Night In at the same hotel as the conference. This year, it's a different one. So don't show up at this hotel looking for Mom's Night In, okay? So pre-conference is Thursday. What they're going to do is the Eddie Day during that downtime of lunch, those that attend pre-conference don't have to attend Eddie Day. You do need to register so that you can make sure that there's enough lunch for everyone planning on coming. And you can register through Carla. Okay? So here's all the information. Again, this is also, no, it is not. I was going to say it's on our Hands Voices website, but it is not. It is, I saw it in an email from Carla. And I don't think it's on the Choices website because I did go looking for it. So if you're interested in this flyer, let me know, and I can get that to you. All right, so the pre-conference and conference. So the second is the pre-conference. The third and fourth are the actual conference. Here is the agenda for the pre-conference. So if you were wondering what that's all about, the pre-conference is free. The regular conference is not free, and I believe they do not have a parent rate like they have in the past. So just keep that in mind. We will have a Hands and Voices Guide by Your Side booth for those 2 days, and Eva will be covering that. Mom's Night In. This year it's just up north. Again, at the typical Hilton where we've had it before. That Saturday, Sundays, the 4th and 5th. Just like Andrea provided last year, there is an opportunity for you to get a reduced fee. Oh, I can see that my little nail polish guy there covered up the wording. Sorry about that. So if you have one family register for Mom's Night In, you can get a reduced rate of $75 for sharing a room. If you have 2 families, you can pay for $55 for that shared room. 3 families, $35, or if you have 4 families register, you get a free shared room for Mom's Night In. Woot, woot. So what does this mean? We wanted you guys to encourage people to sign up. Now, what you need to do is when you find out, hey, my family, the Smith family, they registered, there's nothing on their application for them to say, or their registration for them to say that you're their parent guide. So if you know they've registered, then you can just contact Andrea and say, hey, this is my family, they registered, so I get that reduced rate, and she'll tell you how to make that work, okay? I highly encourage you guys to go. It is a wonderful, relaxing, and fun weekend. All right, so our auction. Guys, this is our fundraiser for the year. This is where we fill in those nooks and crannies that our contract doesn't cover, okay? We really need your help, and we really need you to commit to doing the activities that we all jumped in for at the beginning. So please pay attention to which subcommittee you're on. Participate in those calls. Do those things that you're assigned, and communicate, okay? So here you can see the ones in bold are the chairs for those committees, and then the rest of the team is assigned. Keep in mind that you do get LRP points to put those on your timesheet. The upcoming whole committee call is next week on the 25th, then February 22nd and March 22nd. So keep those dates in mind. Those are the remaining whole committee calls. So we would like you to call in so that you can hear what's going on with the other committees so that it's not a surprise when the actual event happens. And then you might have some great suggestions as well for us that would help that the event go smoother, even though it's not the area that you're concentrating on in your subcommittee, okay? So we learn from each other. FEO event, so Family Education Outreach. It is a senior level LRP item, plus you get points. Every guide does not have to host an FEO event. Would I like you to participate and team up with another guide? Absolutely, okay? And encourage your families to go. This year, we only have budgeted for 5. And instead of $100 each, we only have $75 each, okay? remember that that money cannot cover food. So keep that in mind when you're thinking of places. Now, with that being said, Deb has planned a place at her library. She has, I want to say Sherry, and I don't know if that's right. Why am I drawing a blank? She has a guest reader. There you go. And Sherry Cook. There you go. See, it came there. So anyhow, Sherry's going to come out to the library and do some wonderful reading. She is a dynamic storyteller, let me tell you. I've seen her in action more than once. So she's going to do that, and Deb set that all up. There are different places that you can have it and practically have it for, $75 or even half that. I mean, really, it's very flexible. I do have books that were donated, so if you would like those, I can get them to you. Deb, you and I will figure that out. So definitely ideas. Some locations that we worked in the past, McDonald's, I know that's food, but they have the play areas and so forth. Libraries, museums, food places, small petting zoos. You never know what'll work. It does have to, these all have to be done before April 1st, and I do need commitment. So if there's somebody interested, please let me know. Otherwise, I might be reaching out to you and saying, hey, just some ideas. I know that when Sophie was in preschool, they did a field trip to McDonald's, and they got a little tour of the kitchen. So I don't know if that's a possibility too, but that might be something to check into. Chick-fil-A is another one that has a playland. Some Burger Kings have playland. Again, local libraries, you can use the meeting room and just do guest reading. You could set up stations. You can have like a building block station, a coloring station, a Play-Doh station. You can set up simple games. You can make it work, okay? Again, just different places. I try to remember to gear these events towards ages 6 and under, because this is what our contract really wants us to provide services for. So keep that in mind as well. All right, so here is Deb's flyer. I can totally do this for you once you give me your information, so don't stress, you don't have to do that. Let's just get a place picked out. We can even chat through that together and work it out. Calls for all, again, English, we talked about the different topics. February is PRN Institute, and then March is Music for Kids with Hearing Loss. You are paid for that time if you attend it live, so keep that in mind too. Make sure you get it on your timesheet. And then we already spoke about the Spanish ones. Make sure you talk this up. Talk with your families, talk with providers. Let them know that this is available for them. It is not Illinois specific. Feel free, when I post it on Facebook on the Hands and Voices page, feel free to share on your personal page or other pages that you think it would make sense with, cochlear implant groups that you belong to, hearing aid groups, and so forth. They are recorded and available on the Illinois Sound Beginning. So if you ever want to check that out or send your families to it, I highly recommend it. And you do get LRP points if your families participate in them, and it is considered a training for you, so you would also get training LRP points. Remember the Senior Spelling Bee? So Illinois teaches the deaf and hard of hearing was ITHI before, I-T-H-I, ITHI. So if you want to find this information, go to ITHI, I-T-H-I.org, and you will find this information, okay? The rules, sample word lists, and so forth. I think it's just one of those little things that could be a great possibility for kiddos, and I don't think it's well advertised, personally, because I don't hear about it from anyone. Okay. PRN Institute, this is their flyer for this year. Again, this will be next month's Call for All, June 11th through the 16th. Hiring. I don't know if this is going to happen, but just know that it's in the back of my brain, okay? Yeah. So when Eddie had to apply for the last grant, which would cover this coming April for 3 years. When they had to apply for that, there was a lot of specific guidelines given to them, parameters, I should say, for them to include in their proposal. And many of those things were that they needed to include parents, which is our program, which, woohoo, that guarantees us funding for another 3 years, thank you. But also, one of the parameters that was highly recommended is that they needed to have a deaf mentor component. So I am meeting, I don't know what the final proposal was that Isha submitted to the feds. So it will be partial mystery to me, but I did talk through some stuff with Isha as she was writing the proposal. I am going, and Andrea is going to meet with her next week to talk about what the proposal was, what the parameters are, what does Guide by Your Side need to do in the new contract year. So, with that being said, there may or may not need to be a deaf mentor component, an official component, I should say, because I think it's going to need to be more structured than it is now to our program. So we will wait and see what this looks like. With that being said, too, we might be reshaping our team. We might not, I don't know. We might not be stuck so much to our regions. It will all fall into place. I know it will. It always does. So just keep this in mind. This might be down the pike. It might not. Okay, but I've always been honest with you guys, and I want you to know what's coming up. So if this was possible, if this does happen, May would be when we send out a call for applications. June would we'd be doing the interviewing and hiring. July, August, they get 2 months for the pre-training, and then September is our annual training where we all get together, okay? If any of you are considering moving on, I would highly appreciate a talk. I don't want an email. I want a talk with you. I think that I deserve the respect of a conversation. If I was going to leave the program, I would give you all a conversation. I would not send it in an email, okay? I care for each and every one of you, and I hope that you feel the same way, okay? To me, this is not a job. This is from the heart, okay? I know life gets in the way. I know things happen that we don't plan for. I get it, okay? Sometimes life sucks. It does. But you've got a team of 12 other ladies here that we've got your back. So if you're going through something, let us know. Let someone know. Don't carry it alone. That is not what our team is about. We don't expect the families that we serve to carry it alone. I don't expect you to carry it alone, okay? And so whether this means that you need a break or you need to break off from the program, we will work this out. I am not going to bite, okay? I'm not going to be crying in a corner. You know what? You send me that email, I might be crying in the corner. I'll tell you. Every email don't send me an email. That's the last time I'm going to say it. All right? I know things happen. I get it. Just be honest with me. But don't do it August 31st, 15 days before we're going to go on our annual training, okay? Please have some foresight and let's talk this through. All right? If you have thoughts for the program, I'm open to that. Just because we've done it this way for the last 7 years, 8 years, doesn't mean it needs to continue to go this way, okay? We need to grow as our program grows. Things change, okay? People shop differently. People, we're so much more technology-based than what we were 7 years ago. Even that's different. So if there are things that we could be doing differently or looking into, please, let's talk about it. You might have the next best thing for our program. All right, so annual training is going to be in Galena. I believe the dates are September 15th through the 17th. We will be sharing rooms. Please save the date. If I'm investing several $1,000s, I'm kidding you. I'm not kidding you guys. It will be probably at least $1,000 per person, if not more. If we are investing that, okay, I don't need you up and running 2 weeks before when we can't get registrations back and so forth. All right. Also, that being in mind, that's another reason why we need our auction to go well. We typically only have $5,000 in our budget to cover our annual trainings. We are going to need more than that. This is Hands and Voices Leadership Conference. Registration alone is a couple $100 per person. Doesn't make a difference if we're the host or not. Then you add in the hotel, travel, time for training. It all adds up, and it adds up very quickly, okay? I'm not saying that to guilt you guys and saying, okay, I'm going to quit because I don't want you to pay for me. No, that's not it, okay? You guys deserve this training. It's an awesome experience, awesome. But we need to make sure we're smart and we handle and we have things set up and we're not wasting money, okay? Illinois is the hosting state, but still there is a lot done by Hands and Voices National. However, with that being said, being the hosting state, we have to plan the uptime activities. So there's conference during the day, and then the conference breaks in the afternoon. And what happens after we break? We have uptime activities. So think of your downtime as being uptime. I don't know why they call it uptime. But what we get to do is we get to go out and do fun things with other parent guides, other parents from other states. Isn't that pretty awesome? So there in the past have been jewelry making, wine tasting, yoga, hiking, tours, and so forth. So keep in mind that those things are going to be happening, and we might need to scout out and help plan those and pick those activities. And we may need to lead, like have somebody from our team be at the wine tasting so that people make sure they make it to the right place. Or we might need somebody if there's a sightseeing tour to make sure they're part of that group. So if there's any questions or make sure that everyone's together, that's typically what they've done in the past, okay? Make sure you mark your calendars because it's fun. Timesheets, I'm not going to go crazy on this. However, there are some of you who have not submitted a timesheet in months. This is crazy because you've got families. So if you've got families, you should be billing. Please don't make me chase you. I shouldn't need to. And when I'm not going to lie, when I submit time to DSCC to get reimbursed for our contract. So I have to submit each guide and how much time that they billed for that month. Okay, and so if they see that Jane has not billed for 3 months, they're going to wonder what's going on with Jane, what's going on with Jane's family. All right, please, do yourself a favor. Get that money you deserve, okay? All right, so I'm sure you've all read what I've written here. This is just a recap. We recap this almost every year, guys. Please make sure you list the LRP stuff in the LRP section. Now, some LRP activities are points only. Some of them are a level only, like a lead level, senior level, so forth. Some of them get both. And please pay attention to how many points you're giving yourself. Sometimes you guys give yourself 2 points and it's really a 5-point item. And sometimes you guys are giving yourself 10 points and it's only a 5-point item. All right, so please try to keep track of that. Do not put tax down because we don't reimburse tax. Make sure you're tax exempt. Otherwise, you eat your tax. All right, and again, turn them in a timely manner because I don't want to hold up our invoicing and keep our Hands and Voices account low. So I have to do it on a regular basis as well. All right, and then that's the bottom area where the LRP area goes. All right, so there's been, I think, a little confusion since we switched over. You guys get paid on the 15th or the last day of the month, and if those dates fall on a weekend or holiday, it's usually moved to the Friday before, okay? Now, the reminders from, what's that place called? Oh, gosh, what is it? Yahoo Groups. Those are automatic, and so they're on our old schedule. I'll try to go in and adjust those, but it's 10 days before the payday. So if payday is the 15th, 10 days before that would be the 5th. All right, if payday is the 31st, 10 days before that is the 21st, not the 22nd at 9 p.m. Okay? I need to submit these. They need to get approved, and then there's a two-step approval process which takes 2 days. So if I push these out too late, then that pushes our date wrong. And if people are depending on it to help for a bill, I don't want to have it be later than what they're expecting. Okay? All right. I think that's it. Yep, yep, yep. Any questions, ladies? Okay. Who's in it to win it? All right, question 1. This year, the Parent Achievement Award will be given out at Montagne Inn. True or false? Okay. Question 2. Every guide must host an FEO event, Family Education Outreach. True or false? Excellent. Question 3. This year, our team training will be held in or at the Hands and Voices Leadership Conference. True or false? Woohoo! Catching up to you guys. They're flying across the screen. Excellent. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.